friends, your favorite besties are back for another episode of No Ma'am. I'm your host, Willie Will, and this is my co-host.
Jhoany, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of No Ma'am.
All right, well, friends, today's episode, we are doing something a little different. We are actually going to be celebrating Black History Month. Now, I know it's very no ma'am of us to celebrate Black History Month on the last week of Black History Month, but I mean, we're from New York City, so it would be very on brand for us to do everything late.
In all fairness, we had it planned out weeks ago, and we just never did it. Why?
True.
I don't know.
True.
But we've
So
had it
true.
planned out for weeks.
We did. But also, I mean, if we want to stay true to being on brand, I'm always on time and Jhoany is always late. So I just want people to understand that. Like within this bestie group, I'm the one that's punctual and Jhoany is not.
I'm on Mexican time. Girl, when have you ever met a Mexican that's on time?
I don't know, because you know what they say about colored people. They be like CP time because Black people always late. So yes, I get that. But I'm not that type of Black person, so I'm always on time.
I'm fully that type of Mexican. Like I'll be like, yeah, I can get there in like 30 minutes. So I'll leave like 15 minutes before I have to be there.
Well, today's episode, in celebration of Black History Month, we are going to be talking about all the queens who have won RuPaul's Drag Race or any of the spin-off franchises who also happen to be Black. Unapologetically Black, I might add. So, but before we even get into that, did you know that Black History Month was first proposed by Black educators and students at Kent State University, which is in Ohio? I had no idea. I was like, okay. In February 1969. But the first celebration of Black History Month took place at Kent State a year later, from January 2nd to February 28, 1970. But it wasn't until 6 years later that Black History Month was being celebrated all across the country in educational institutions and centers of Black culture. Then President Gerald Ford, who was a Republican, I might add, which is important, he recognized Black History Month in 1976 during the celebration of the United States bicentennial, where he urged Americans to seize the opportunity to honor their too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every aspect of endeavors throughout our history. And so this is really important because we're in a Republican era right now. So I think, right, that people need to realize that there has been a shift in the culture in terms of just being intimidated by people of color. And it has started because we had a Black president. And then after that, it just went downhill. There's been an attack on people of color ever since. And this current administration, they're actually trying to eliminate, right? Obviously, they're going after trans, right? But they're also trying to eliminate the accomplishments of Black Americans. So there has been numerous legislation that has been targeted DE&I, and Trump has pretty much eliminated a lot of DE&I programs within the federal government, and he's also threatened to withhold federal funding from states that have DEI courses or courses that are talking about race in particular. And so, if you don't know, before it was DE&I, it was CRT or critical race theory. But the core of all these attacks, it's the underlying theme has always been racism, right? Like we just need to understand and put pen to paper the fact that our rights are slowly being eliminated from us. And we talked about this in the last episode. I still don't understand how millions of Americans thought that the way forward was to eliminate rights. I don't get it.
It's something I will never understand. Like you really decided hey, I want cheaper eggs, so I'm willing to give up other people's rights. That makes no sense to me. I'm sorry, it doesn't. What? Make it make sense,
Not at
please.
all.
It's just
Not at all.
inhumane.
Yeah. But I also think it's easy to make people a scapegoat, right? A certain type of person like a scapegoat, because you can latch onto that and then that person becomes the boogeyman. And so obviously you're seeing it happening with the trans kids, right? We can't have men and women sports. That's not really happening. People need to realize that that's just we're being gaslit for his incompetence. Right now, DE&I, or the fact that the white man didn't get the job because a Black person got it. No, that's not what that means. It just means that everyone has access to have the opportunity to get the job. That's all it means, literally. You have the tools and resources you need for you to have a seat at the table. Now, if you want to get a seat at the table, go for it. If you don't, oh well. But at least you had the opportunity, right? At least somebody brought the opportunity to you to have a seat at the table. And I think that's what, well, I think the ones who get it, obviously, you and I, we get it. But the people on the top, well, white men, they are kind of like, they're butthurt right now.
Yeah, they're scared. They're scared. They're butthurt. They're scared.
The time to
There's a
change
lot
it.
of adjectives that I would like to use, but I feel like we might get flagged.
True.
So
So true.
I will keep them in my
Okay.
head. If you
All
want to
right.
know what they are, y'all can DM me.
Right, DM Jhoany so he can let y'all know what he's talking about. But I mean, I think in order for us to combat hate, right, we always have to go at it with love. So that's what this episode is really all about, right? It's to really give flowers to the queens that deserve it, because you and I both know that sometimes these Black queens who have been on the show or who have won the show, they tend not to get the same reception from a portion of the Drag Race fans. Not everybody, not all Drag Race fans are the same, but there's a portion of Drag Race fans, and you've seen it on Twitter, you've seen it on the Instagram, you've seen it in the comments, that are very toxic and sometimes can be very microaggressive when their like white counterpart does not win and a queen of color does. That's when we get to see that ugliness come out.
Yeah, and I think we've seen it a lot more lately. I don't know what it is about the internet that makes people feel brave to show their true colors, because some of the things I've seen said online about a lot of queens of color um are really disgusting.
Yeah,
Like I read some of those tweets or some of those comments and like, why?
yeah,
Why would you say
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Like why?
I mean, let's take season 17, for example, right? Obviously, it's the current season, and feel free to like look at our recaps because they're on YouTube. But season 17, we have Anya Nerve. She literally is pretty much the front runner of the season. If
Not
you
pretty
if you
much
think
she
about it.
is.
If you've been watching, right. So if you've been watching the season, she is the front runner of this. She's been dominating literally every episode. If she's not in the top, she's like dominating the confessionals. But you are seeing Anya Nerve on your TV screen every week. But yet she has 77,000 followers on Instagram. Now, I understand follower count does not make or break a queen, but just like, I just want you to think of it holistically, right? If you look at the queens who are above 100,000 followers on Instagram, right? Look at the difference and then look what Anya is. Yet Anya is the front runner of the season and she doesn't have as many followers. So, I'm not saying there's a problem, but what I'm saying is that there is an underlying theme and an underlying tone that we just need to recognize that it does come with like some toxicity with the Drag Race fans. So,
And this has always been the case for as long as I've been watching Drag Race. The white queens would always end up with way more followers than the queens of color.
yeah,
And
yeah,
like it's been something that's been going on for years, which is sad. Like you said, I don't know. It just
yeah.
something needs to be.
What I love this season is that we're not getting like the angry Black queen at it. Like we almost had a glimpse of it when they
Mm,
tried it with Anya. We almost had it, right? But we're not getting that like angry like villain at it that we have
like
seen
yeah.
prior seasons, which is good, which is very refreshing, right?
But
Like that's good.
mm, actually, no, I was gonna say something, but I was like, no, never mind. I should save that for the recap episode.
Probably. Yes. Save for the recap. Okay. So obviously the first queen that we need to talk about on this list is the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 1, the queen that started it all, which is BB Sahara Benet. So, Jhoany, what are some of your favorite BB moments?
Rakatiti.
How did I know you was going to say that? How did I know that was going to be?
I'm sorry,
How did I know that's what she was going to say?
my
Yes.
pussy. Like, I mean, she's had a lot of good moments. Like her lip sync in season one against China, like sending the front runner home. That was iconic. Sorry,
Always.
sorry, baby. Didn't mean to disrespect.
Right.
That's how sickening she is. But that Lord,
It's okay. Get your thoughts.
sorry, y'all. Still recovering. Still recovering. That I know this is a controversial moment, but her throwing that lip sync against Ben, like with the wig and what was that, All Stars 3? Like she was winning that lip sync. Like she was winning that lip sync. She was doing amazing. And then the bitch pulled her wig off. This is why we get so mad at the girls this season. Because back then, wig comes off, you're going home. She pulled the wig off because she knew she would lose that lip sync. She did not want to send Miss Trixie home. So she's like, Ben can do it. But either way, I love that moment. Like her just fully throwing that lip sync and just like so dramatically ripping her wig off. I thought that was so funny. But yeah, those are just some of my favorite BB moments.
I mean, for me, I didn't really have like one singular BB moment, like favorite BB moment. For me, I had a couple. I think it was literally every time BB came on the runway. It was, and we all know that season one was the forgotten season or the lost season for a while, right? You couldn't find it anywhere. And then also, it was a season with the Vaseline filter, like horrible filter on there. And that was the first season. So you know the budget wasn't what it needed to be. It wasn't giving anything. It was really giving like Wet Seal or Sandy Alley, actually, if I want to be if I'm being technical. But every time BB came on that runway, it was like magnetism. It was electrifying. She just had star quality and star presence, like right off the bat for me. And I always was like, yes, it was, we knew that BB was going to win that season. And if she didn't, she was going to be a finalist. Like she just had that. But my ultimate favorite moment is in the finale lip sync when she lip syncs against Nina Flowers and she goes in between Nina's legs and somehow gets tangled up in Nina's dress and then just makes it work. And she's like doing all these motions, but yet she's literally inside of Nina's dress and Nina's just on top of her. Like, I guess we're just doing this right now. We're just
I
gonna
love
go
that lip
with it.
sync. I love that lip sync. I feel like that's such an underrated lip sync. It's probably because a lot of the fans don't know about that season or haven't watched it. But like, I feel like that's such an underrated lip sync. Like yes, they were lip syncing against each other, but they were kind of having fun with it and like falling off of each other.
Yes. And also because majority of the season, like season one lip syncs, had a lot of like lip sync don'ts. So like if you're looking back at it now, right, it's a lot of the things that's a chop. Like, but back then we were living, right? We was living for the queens, taking their wigs off. We was living for the queens when
Miss
titties come
BB
off.
literally like shedding on the on the fucking runway, on the two
Listen,
feet runway.
we was living for that. We was living for Akasha when she fell off, when she fell and she spinned around. Like it was a lot. It's a lot
Oh
of
my God.
moments. Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yes. We
So
like
I
fell,
remember
spins it around. Yes.
I remember back in the Tumblr days, like I would see that GIF and I thought it was like, oh my God, that's really cool. But I had no idea where it was from until like years later. Actually, the main reason I started watching Drag Race was because of the gifs I would see off Raven. Like Raven just being a cunt. I was like, I need to know who this person is and I need to watch this.
Yeah. I mean, we had that where like there was numerous. What was it? Tammy not wanting to do the lip sync, and so Akasha just there lip sync by herself. That was the first time that we had
And
it,
she's just there like,
and Tammy's just there like this, and Akasha is going off to we break the dawn, and Michelle Williams is like crying because Akasha is like bringing it, but yet if you look back at it, Akasha was good, but she wasn't really bringing her
no,
lip sync.
it was not like, I
It
think she
wasn't
was
that for me.
crying because she's probably over here like, this girl ain't even trying to lip sync my song.
Right, like that piece. So you can say that. But I mean, speaking of Raven being a cunt, and we love Raven. We love Raven. We have to talk about, and this may be a little controversial because obviously she's said some controversial things recently, right? We have to speak about Tyra Sanchez, the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race season 2. I don't think we can have like an episode about like Black queens who have won RuPaul's Drag Race and not talk about the impact that Tyra has had where it's on the show. Even if off the show, she's had her moments where it's kind of like, but during the show, I think we need to talk about it. So, what are some of your favorite like Tyra moments?
For me, my ultimate favorite Tyra moment was honestly the wedding dress runway when she like yeah, first of all she looked stunning, like beautiful. But then also the fact that like the dress was well made. Obviously, she looked like the outfit was good, but she like literally hot glued pieces of lace onto her skin. Like that was insane. Like that's how
Yes,
dedicated she was to the art of drag and how dedicated she's always been. I know she's definitely had, some moments, but I feel like the fandom was always really unfair towards her. And
thank you,
I
thank
hate,
you.
yes, we love Raven. Should she have won the season? No, absolutely not. Tyra dominated her season. And
Thank
maybe
you.
y'all want to erase that because, yes, she has said some controversial things. Yes, she was very problematic even on her season. Let's be real. She said some
Mhm.
really bad things too. But she wasn't the only one. Tatiana was a cut. Raven was a cut. Morgan was a cut. Like there was a lot of those girls. Season two would absolutely be canceled if it aired now.
Oh, fully.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
the fans today would not be able to handle season two because those
Right.
girls were coming for each other. But I think Tyra unfortunately got like most of it, and I think it was very unfair.
It was. Yes. I put it in my notes too, where I said Tyra was the example for me, I think, when we talk about the toxicity of the Drag Race
Yeah,
fans. Right. That was the first example that we got because literally immediately after her winning, like her coronation, we got Raven was robbed.
right
The
away.
fans didn't even give Tyra like a chance to be like America's Drag Superstar. It was like Raven was robbed.
Yeah,
And they they went below the belt a lot of times that they shouldn't have for like no reason. It wasn't coming for her based on anything for the show. It was mostly coming for her, like her.
yeah. Um, and recently Silky made a TikTok uh about Tyra, which I think everyone needs to watch. So go to her page, go look at it. But she said something about like she needed our help, and she still does, and we let her down, and we did. Um, Again,
Thank you.
yes, she has said some controversial things, but like part of me kind of feels like she was kind of put in that position by the fans who like just hated on her for no reason. Like, can you imagine like doing this thing that you're so proud of that like is an achievement of a lifetime, and instead of like receiving your flowers, you're just getting hate. Like, who wouldn't turn into a villain in that scenario?
They actually
Like,
didn't give her no choice. Like she had
yeah,
to do that for survival. Like literally. That's she was every day she was fending, like she was fighting her reputation. Like just based on low blows. They talked about her child, right? Like they just the
they
fans at
dragged
that
her to the
point
mud
was
to the point where she quit drag.
yes, was
Obviously, she's
so
back now
toxic.
as Keen Tyra, but
Yeah.
like for a while, she was not doing drag.
Yeah. Yeah. And even the show, like, no shade to the show. We love the show. But like no shade to the show. The show kind of got like kind of erased her
Oh,
after a
fully.
while. And
After
that's not
season
fair.
8, after
Yeah.
season 8, they were like, "Oh, we're done with Tyra."
Yeah, like
After
that's
that
not
photo
fair.
shoot, yeah.
Right, right, you know? But my favorite Tyra moment is also the wedding dress challenge, but in the runway. But it's when first we all know I think this is the moment where I fell in love with Tyra when I knew that Tyra was winning, is when she came on that runway on her knees with the biggest bouquet of flowers. And then she jumps up with no support from her hands. She jumps up on her feet and starts walking down the runway. I was like, bitch, you better. Like that old school drag queen trick, like, bitch, you better. You fucking better.
I'm also kind of remembering another runway shoot. I think it was her. I'm pretty sure it was her. It's been a while. Was it like? I think it was the country runway.
Yes, when she had the numerous like reveals. She had like
Yes,
six of them shit.
yes. Like she had like 3 reveals before reveals were a thing. Like she was the original reveal queen. And
Yes.
she did them so effortlessly. Not like some of these queens be doing nowadays. But they
She
were
just
like,
kept coming. She just kept coming down the runway. And she
and
kept coming down the runway.
like they were unclockable.
It was good. She was good.
Yeah,
Sarah dominated that season. We
yeah,
had to give her flowers. She dominated that season. And unfortunately the fandom did that to her. And it's not
yeah.
okay.
And this is not saying or excusing her behavior,
Not at all.
but she absolutely deserves her flowers, and she absolutely deserved her crown.
Yeah. Yep. And I said that on one of the episodes, right? I said, we don't condone what she said, but we have to realize that this is bigger than us, right? So, like, we need to be there to support her, but we need to make sure that she gets the resources she needs for her to be, like, to get better because this is a cry for help, right? I don't think she's doing this out of malice at this point. I just think this is a cry for help. Like, we need to help her because we didn't help her in the past.
And I think it was Silky in that same video who also brought up like the producers of Drag Race should absolutely support these queens through these moments. Like you can't just pick them up and then throw them out when you're done with them.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a TV show, but I
Yeah.
think that's like the toxic underbelly side of a TV show, right?
Yeah.
Based on like representation, all that stuff, like who is managing you, all that. So like if you have a team of great people, I think it's great, which is why I think drag families is super important, like to have like a community of people that rally behind you. I think that's also really good. So those are all really good tips. But back then it was season 2, so like I'm sure she didn't have that.
Yeah. If I
The
recall,
queens
I don't
now,
even think she had a drag family.
I'm not sure, but I mean, Sanchez, she probably was from the house of like Sanchez. I'm not sure. She thinks she talked about it briefly. Like she had like a drag mom and her drag mom told her some things, but I'm not sure.
I don't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I should go rewatch
Okay.
season 2.
We should go watch it. It was a really good too. It was a really good season. So now let's get into one of my favorite drag queens ever. And that is Bob the Drag Queen, the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race season 8. So what is some of your favorite like Bob moments? I can go on and on about
I
Bob,
was
but I'm
about to
gonna let
say,
you go
like,
first.
there's so many. One is the acting challenge, which is like this and this. That like slow reveal, so dramatic. Her lip sync against Eric Berry is one of my favorite lip syncs of all time. I think it's so underrated. To Sylvester. I thought that was such a good lip sync. Like you knew she was gonna win that lip sync when she turned around. And you saw it in her face, like I don't know what the fuck Derek is gonna do, but I know whatever she does is not gonna be enough to send Bob home because Bob is locked in right now, and she dragged her ass through that floor. There was her snatch game, obviously hilarious. The fact first queen to do two characters in one snatch game, iconic.
Yes, yes, yes. I
First,
think people get
first. I quote
that
that so
confused
much.
though. I think people get that confused. Like she was the first one to do 2 characters. Chad Michaels did 2 reveals. Like she had 2
Yeah,
different
it was
like
just outfit
shared
changes.
costumes,
Yeah,
but it was still shared. So people
yeah,
get that
no.
confused.
Yeah, no. Rob is the first one to do two completely different characters, different races, even.
Yeah.
But what was I saying? Forgot what I was saying. First,
Yes.
first. I love that. I quote that a lot. First. Yeah. I mean, there's so many moments, and obviously off season. Like, have you guys watched her podcast? Like, she's hilarious. Excuse me, sorry, but like, there's been some really funny moments with Peppermint. Race,
She's about fracking. Race? Or like when Peppermint goes this way
but is
and
it
Bob
fashion?
goes the other way. Like, oh my gosh, it's so fun.
But is it fashion?
But is it fashion? But is it fashion? We need to figure it out. We still
But is it
haven't
fashion?
but is it fashion? Do we have the answer? Is it fashion though?
Yeah, no. I mean, Bob is hilarious. Bob, if there's anyone who I would want to replace Rue as judge or as host, it's Bob, honestly.
I agree. I mean, if you watch No Man podcast, if you've seen our first episode, then you know Bob was my top favorite like drag queen of all time on my list. Still is out there. Is not going to change. But you know, when I was watching season 8, right, and I saw Bob come on the screen, like I saw myself in Bob, and I'll say this why, because Bob was so like unapologetically himself, and he understood that people was going to be intimidated by him just by being him and knowing that you're the shit. And I think it's something powerful in that, right? It didn't come off as many people have said that Bob came off very like arrogant and cocky on the show.
Mm-mm.
And I don't think it was. It was just very confident to the point where it's like, I'm funny. I know I'm funny. I know I may not have the best fashions, but bitch, I'm funny. Like,
I mean, it's
I'm,
gotten
I'm going to
better.
sell
It's gotten
this,
better.
right?
It's gotten way better.
True. But I also think it's because Bob understood that, hey, listen, if he might not have the best fashion, his makeup skills at the time on season 8 probably wasn't the greatest, like a Naomi Smalls or Kim Chi, but let me learn, right? Let me grow from this experience. And I think that's always really smart. And I think that's okay, right? Because you may not be good at everything, but you're going to make mistakes. You're going to learn, dust yourself off, try again, and keep growing and keep growing. That's the beauty in like being human. That's the beauty in anything that we do. Like, we don't start off as experts. We have to get better as we go along. And I think that's great. So Bob being unapologetically himself, Bob being black as fuck. I mean, black as fuck and not giving a shit. Like Cookie, that fucking chocolate chip cookie. And this, so you thought you can get rid of me, bitch. Right? Like that
Yeah.
was so fun. So you thought she got rid of me, bitch. Is the butt still running? Like, come on now. Like, made the bus still running the funny joke that it is today, right? Like, is the bus still running? Come on, one of the iconic phrases from
Literally
Drag
was
Race
just used like last episode.
was, listen, in the best way. Sorry to that lady. Sorry to that lady. But also, like, I credit Bob the inspiration for me and why I adore Bob so much is the fact that like they created sibling rivalry. And so sibling rivalry literally was the inspiration for me wanting to create No Man podcast. To see two besties get on there and talk about drag race and whatever topics that interest me, not only because it interests me, but the fact that they look like me. Then they were two queens of color who won, right? Best friends. They're from New York City. They share the same experiences. I thought was amazing. And it just like literally just like, I have to do this. I have to ask Jhoany to be a part of this podcast because we have to do this. And so I credit Bob for that, right? Like Bob and Monet. And so if my ultimate goal is to have Bob as a guest on No Man Podcast. So I don't know which twink out there needs to make this happen, but y'all need to get this clip. I'm going to clip it, this clip to Bob because Bob
Hormone.
needs,
Hormone.
or Monet, or actually both of them. Because, no lie, like, I'm a bobblehead, but I have dual citizenship to Monation. I have dual citizenship to Monation, but I'm a bobblehead at heart, but I have dual citizenship. So, like, if the bobbleheads get on my nerves, I'm going over to Monation, because, it's across the bridge, but I have dual citizenship. But I need y'all to get this to Bob and Monet, and they need to be a guest on No Man Podcast. Right? Like, I am indebted to Bob and Monet for starting sibling rivalry, for
Or get
giving
it
me
to
the
Jacob.
inspiration. For like, oh, get this to Jacob. Yes, somebody get this to Jacob. But like, I'm indebted to Bob and Monet for like really, for me to be able to see myself in them. I think it's really great. So like, I cannot express how much like I love the two of them. And so, yes, thank you for
Actually,
helping us create this podcast. So,
I just remembered my ultimate favorite Bob moment, which was actually not on Drag Race, unfortunately,
what was it?
but it was on This Is no, not This. We're Here. Um, the performance she did with her niece as her wig, like the ingenuity behind it. Like, how do you think of that? Like, so for those who haven't seen it, you need to go look up Bob, This Is Us performance. Like, look it up. So good. I actually almost don't want to talk about it because I want people to like see it for the first time and be gagged. But that performance is so good. Like so creative, so like perfectly executed. I don't want to talk too much about it because I want people to go watch it for themselves and get like
Yes,
just experience it for the first time. So go do that, guys.
yes.
I need to go watch
And
that.
listen, there was some emotional moments that we're here. So like, that was one. When I gagged, I was really emotional because I was not expecting that. And I'm not an emotional person, but
Oh
that
girl, no.
episode made me emotional. I'm not an emotional person at all. I'm the type of person that when the bitches be crying, I'd be like, what y'all crying for? Like, like, y'all okay?
There's very few things that can make me cry.
Yes. All right. Now, speaking of sibling rivalry, I mean, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the winner, right? Or the twinner, the twinner, because we can't erase Trinity Tuck. The twinner of All Stars 4, Monet Exchange. Now, I can go on and on about Monet just as much as I can go on about Bob, but what is some of your favorite Monet Exchange moments?
There's so many. I think my like one, her runways in All Stars 7, not season 10. All Stars 4 is
Seven.
but All Star 7 were amazing. I think, like you said, they were, like she was so unapologetically black, so funny. It was that there was this interaction which I think about a lot because I think it's so funny. But
We just
her
talked about
and
this the other day. Didn't we talk about this the other day? Are we not talking about the same thing?
I was gonna bring that up too, but what I'm
Okay,
thinking
okay.
about right now, well, I'll bring that one up. But at a place I used to work, like she came in once, and she was just so nice. I mean, it was me and one other gay on the shift, and we both realized at the same time. We like looked up. We were standing right next to each other, and we both looked up. And we're like, "Oh my God, that's Moray!" And this was, I think, right after like season 10 aired, or like while season 10 was airing. I don't really remember.
Yep, yep.
It was while season 10 was airing, but we were both
Mm-hmm.
gagging, and we were like, she was just so nice about it. Obviously, like we didn't really get a chance to talk to her because like
Right.
middle of rush, super busy. Like we couldn't stop what we were doing to go
Yeah.
talk to her.
Yeah.
But like she was just really nice. But that's not what I was gonna talk about. Like I think about this moment a lot, but like All Stars 4 during the room, like the hotel, the bar design challenge, whatever the fuck what that was, like that marketing challenge,
Uh
when
huh.
she's paired up with Mo Hart, and it's so stupid, but it's so funny at the same time. And they're like painting, and Mo is like, "What way do you paint? Up and down or left and right?" She's like, "Up and down, girl." And then Mo is like, "Who said?" And Monet is just like, "Jesus."
So good.
Like I love that moment. That's one of the funniest moments of Drag Race ever. It's just so random, like Jesus, and then Mo like just goes on and completely ignores what she says and paints the opposite way.
That was so good. That was a really good moment. I forgot all about that until you started talking about it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm painting the rooms.
Yeah.
Yes, that was so good. I thought the moment that you was going to talk about was when Shea Coulee was imitating Monet's walk in
Oh my
All Star
God.
7.
Oh my God. I forgot about that. Yeah. When Untucked. Sorry guys. All Star 7. Untucked. I forgot after what episode. Like I forgot what episode it was.
It
Honestly,
was the knit challenge. The knit challenge
it
when they
wasn't
all
a
had like
challenge, but Shay started imitating Monet's walk, and she did it so perfectly too, like the ass all out, the side to side. And Monet just being like, "I don't walk like that," and everyone's like, "No, that's
yeah.
exactly how you walk." Or,
And
that's
even the
exactly.
producers in the back was like
Yeah, girl.
dying, and she was like, "Well, I think that she said the producers in the back is dying, so that means I must walk like that." So everyone
It.
must think that's true. So
Yeah,
yes.
that was really funny.
Yes, but I had to actually have two favorite Monet moments on Drag Race. The first one, iconic lip sync from season 10, the first one that we had, where she did the iconic fake out. That's when we got the fake out that everyone else now does, right? After Monet like kind of originated the fake out, which was good. To Pound the Alarm versus Dusty Ray Bottoms. Like Monet deserved to be in that look on that bottom for that look because that look was not good, girl. Okay.
And that's exactly why I said All Star 7 runways,
Right. I would
not
love to
season
see
10.
her recreate that look today to like to see. That'd be a really good like inspiration like garment to see. But yeah, yeah, right. She did that one. That was amazing. But then All Stars 4, the roast challenge of Lady Bunny. When she was like, look at that big bloated bitch in that box. That
The alliteration.
like that shit right there,
And
that was funny.
I'm pretty sure, what's her name?
Lady Bunny.
Lady Bunny, like, broke, like, at that
She
moment,
did. She
right?
did. She like chuckled.
Yeah.
Yes, she's in the
There was like
coffin.
two moments. There was like two moments that made her laugh. I think it was that one, and then when I think I'm not sure if I quite
Vanilla,
remember.
and she goes, "Whew."
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like when she walked in, she lifted her. Like, yeah,
Yes, but not look at that big bloated bitch in that box. That gets me to this day. I still think that is funny because what? She was like, Ben Franklin fucked the Michelin man. What? That was such an amazing roast that Lady Bunny couldn't do anything else but laugh. Like she's supposed to be dead, but she couldn't do anything else but laugh. Monet has some. She has some really good moments, and obviously we can't like we have to talk about. We cannot like we would remiss if we don't speak about what she's done after Drag Race, like the numerous tours she's had. Right, her TV, like her talk show, The Exchange Rate. Now she has the podcast,
it was a
the
great
video
season.
podcast. R.I.P.
No, I know. Was that the Vivian who said that?
I think so. It was a great season. I think so. R.I.P. Vivid. Oh, Viv. But no, that what she's also Vivian said she had the exchange rate, which is Latin for canceled, was so funny. But so we have the exchange rate. We also have the new video podcast that she has called Monet Talks, which is really good. So make sure you go check it out. Like she's had some really amazing people on that. I loved her Orville Peck interview. I mean, who doesn't like Orville Peck? Like, hello, that's a fine man.
That is a
That's a, that's a,
fine man.
that's a
Like he can
fine
keep the
man.
mask on. I don't give a fuck.
To find man. So yes, she also has her tour Life Be Lifing, which I need to go to, but I always I always forget. And then by the time I look at it, it's like the tour has left New York City. So I need them to come to New York City again so I can be like front row and like the Life tour. So we got to go to that. And then just her just kikiing with Bob on Sylvan Reverie. Like obviously I'm a cousin, so like I pay for the Patreon because duh, we gotta support. But two, it's like they're so funny. They just be talking about nothing and they're just hilarious, the two of them. So I
Yeah,
love Monet, love Bob. We need both of them on the pod.
Yes, please. But you brought up the Vivian, and it reminded me of something. And this is off Drag Race, post Drag Race. But those like her and Vivian would do these like,
Bridgerton.
yeah, that like those are so funny.
Yeah. On
Those two
Netflix.
like are comedic gold.
Yeah.
And it's like it just feels like unintentional. It just feels like two best friends that get together and just kiki and just do the
Yeah.
stupidest shit possible. Now I'm getting kind of emotional because the Viv.
I know, because the Viv, right? I know,
Yeah,
I
like
know.
that moment when they're at the table and she's teaching them how to excuse themselves in the bathroom, and she's like, "But if we went halfsies on the back, then we go together."
Yeah.
Yeah,
All the Viv. All the Viv. Oh. Okay. Well, next, let's talk about Evie Oddly, the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race season 11. So now, what are some of your favorite Evie like moments? Share a couple for me.
I think I will just kind of like put them together, I guess. But it's her verses and like the performances she does with them, like both on her season, like that finale performance, like when she like one, the verse was so good itself, but then like the backbend she did and then walked like so effortlessly, iconic. I think that's the moment she won the season.
Yeah.
That and on All Stars 7, her verse in like that first challenge was one of my favorites. Probably my
Queen
actual
of the
favorite, to be honest.
Queeros.
Yeah, honestly, like I think it is my favorite because she's always been so unapologetically weird, like so weird, and never been afraid of it. And it's sad that we won't get to see her do what she does best for much longer.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's sad.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of All Star 7, that shake and go wig that she had on in that first episode, that was a choice, Evie. That was a choice. That red shake and go, that was a choice. But besides that, yes, Evie has always come up with some iconic verses. Her music is really good, so I think people need to go check out Evie's music. I just love the fact that Evie has always embraced being weird, like you said, but always being like outside the box. Right? She's never been one to try to be the box. If anything, she's gonna be like she's gonna see the box and she's gonna try to do something totally opposite than what the box is saying for her to do. And I think that takes a lot of balls, right? Or in this case, a really big penis, because you know, we've all seen Evie's penis outline on RuPaul's Drag Race, or if you've seen it on Twitter, you've seen the actual penis, and it is quite large.
I am a good Christian woman. I have seen no such thing.
Listen, it's Evie has a big penis. Like she has a big dick. That is what it is. It was that's why Jinx won the freaking like the roast challenge. Talking about Evie's dick. But
Evie
besides
has
that,
Evie has what was it? It's like Evie has been like sexualized or whatever. It's not right. It's not fair. Anyway, here's some dick jokes.
right, Evie's dick is so big she has to tuck it between her shoulder blades. Like that
Evie's dick
shit.
is so big. I was doing a lot of coke off of it. I had to what was it? I had to stop halfway through to catch my breath, and I realized I'd become my mother.
Yes, yes. So not only is Evie the queen of the queerdos, but she's also the queen of the big dicks. So there we go. So that has to be respected and celebrated in its own right. But besides that, I think Evie was never she never shied away from like giving a critique, but in a meaningful way, right? We saw that during the Untucks when her and Silky had that moment. But it wasn't out of malice, it was out of love, like being true and saying, hey, I'm gonna be transparent with you. My favorite Evie runway was the jellyfish. I thought that was amazing.
I still remember saying that. I think I was at Hardware watching that, and the reaction of the crowd, like it was one of the craziest reactions I've ever seen. Like when she walked out with that, everybody was living for it.
Yeah, that was great. Right,
I
and
think
that's jellyfish. That's a jellyfish.
I think my favorite runway moment from her was All Star 7, the light up runway when she came out as like those mushrooms because it felt very like it felt natural, like it felt botanical, it felt like something you'd see on Pandora.
Yeah. It also felt very Evie, like it was
Oh,
very
that's
Evie.
yeah, obviously.
Yes, which is good. All right. So now, speaking of a queen who's unapologetically themselves, right? Unapologetically black. I mean, we cannot have a Black History Month episode and not talk about Shea Coulee. Her drag literally is a love letter to black women, and she has said that numerous times. But Shea Coulee, winner of All Stars 5. So, what is some of your favorite Shea Coulee moments? I have a lot of them actually.
I was about to say that like girl, this is a lot.
You know, yeah.
I mean, obviously. her verse in season 9. Her role as Black China. I should have been Black China.
Listen, pro tip: if you ever get a Black China inspired role, and if you know what I'm talking about, get it. Because get it and dominate the Rusical, dominate the whatever it is. But the Black China role is always the winning role. Always. If done right, you will win. Just want to throw that out there. So
Emphasis on done right. Because some of these
that part.
girls will be taking these roles thinking, oh, it's easy, I'm going to kill it, and then flop because they don't know how to do it.
True. True, true, true. But yeah, what were some of your favorite Shay moments?
I think, honestly, it's her runways. Like, she has had some amazing runways. I think my favorite look from her of all time, like, period, All-Star 7, first runway, the queen look, the crown queen look, when she came
Bitch, get out of
down
my head. Get
in
out of
that
my head.
in that amazing like African outfit, like with that
Yes.
big old headpiece, and the fact she even had like the ear
Aesthetic.
plates. Yeah, like amazing. I love that. I think that for me, top 10 favorite runway looks of all time.
It was good.
Yeah.
Like it was off the runway, Maison Valentino. Like it was so good. I put that in my notes. Like that is one of my favorite like looks from Shea Coulee. Like that's amazing. Yeah. I thought I did. But what
Oh,
else
I
I
did. Yeah.
like? Yes, literally. Like
Yeah,
I
I
put
was
that in
like, I
my
just
notes
see it
too.
right now.
I thought, and we all know that Shea Coulee has always had like a tough exterior, and you know she's from Chicago, so like yeah, like hello. It's like us being from like the Bronx. We have like tough exteriors, but we're like super nice inside once you get to know us. But what I loved on All Star 7 was the moment that she had with Naomi Campbell.
It was very heartwarming.
Yes, it was such an emotional moment because you can tell just how much Naomi Campbell meant to her and meant to her drag to the point where you can see it. Like, Shea Coulee can walk the runway. Like, she stomps the runway. Like, the runway is Shay's, like, hands down. That's where she lives, right? And breathes. Shay is a lip sync assassin. Like, I don't know another queen who is as unapologetically black, right, than Shea Coulee was. And I just love that we had Bob first in season 8, and then we had Shay in season 9. Right, like I thought that was really great seeing another like black queen dominate the competition. Obviously, she didn't win season 9, but she went on to win like All Stars 5, and then come back for All Stars 7, where she was able to really show like who like the evolution of Shea Coulee is. I thought she was great.
Yeah. And she, another queen that makes really good. Once you said All Star 7, I was like, her verses were also really good. Like
Yeah,
the
Shea Coulee makes really good music.
Titanic verse was amazing. Yes. One thing I really do love about Cher, this might be weird. I love her eyebrows. Her fucking eyebrows. The way she paints her eyebrows. I don't know why. It's so captivating. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
because it's
does she?
different. Because it's different. Like the way she like straight and then like curves them. It's kind of like a hook-ish almost. I don't know.
Right.
But it looks so good on her.
Does she? Is she? Does she like shave like half of her real eyebrow off though? Like, and then she keeps like half of it, and the other like portion of it is like
I
the thing
don't
she
know
painted
if
on.
she still does that, but she did at one point. I think season 9, she definitely had like the half shave.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I was
But just
wondering
the way she
because
like
yes,
paints them like iconic.
I mean Shay's mug is like amazing. Speaking of a queen that's a muggy queen, right? We have to talk about the winner of season 12, the queen who won in her fucking living room. We have to talk about Jada Essence Hall. Like Jada won Drag Race in her fucking living room. That's an accomplishment. That's one of my favorite Jada moments, if I have to say so myself. Is the fact that she won Drag Race in her fucking living room. Who else can say that?
Only queen to win Red Drag Race on a Zoom call.
Very much so. Who else can say that? No one. Jada will forever be the queen who won Drag Race in her living room.
Hmm. I think that's my favorite Drag Race Jada moment. Like that lip sync to Get Up by Sierra.
Yes.
So good.
And she got up off the couch.
But it was just like I think that's one of the prime examples of like you don't always need like splits and dips and tricks to win a lip sync. You just need the emotion. You just need to understand the lyrics you're singing. You need to know what you're lip syncing and just execute it really well. That's one of my favorite moments. And All Star 7, her roast. That for me. is like one of those so bad it's good moments. But what made it so funny is she was aware that she was bombing. She was
Yes.
so aware that she was doing horribly, and she just went along with it. She made the fact that she was bombing funny, and it's
Yes.
really hard to do that.
I mean, she did it with her Prince too in All Star 7 and Snatch Game. She
Yeah,
was bombing Prince, and she knew that she knew she wasn't good. And she was like, I'm just gonna go with it.
yeah,
Like she knew that she was not good. But I think that's what I was trying to get when I said that about the Lexi Love, right? In the Snatch Game. Was like that's kind of was reminding myself. But Jada's was actually funny. So her meltdown was actually really funny. So
yeah. But I mean, my favorite was the roast when she was like, "This roast did not go how it was supposed to go," or something like that.
she was like, and she likes it cut. But that's not how this joke is supposed to go. So that's not landing right now here on this bitch show. And the next joke was supposed to go after that, but that won't land too.
Fuck you.
Jada was funny. Jada
Mm,
was funny. Jada
it was
was
really funny.
funny in All Star 7. She was good. The design challenges that she dominated, the design challenges was really great. My favorite moment in All Star 7 from Jada, not only obviously at the Snatch Game, was the moment when she like cried because she said that she didn't know that she was deserving of being in the all winner season or like deserving of winning the crown. And again, I think that goes back to our original like statement when we said that sometimes the fans will make queens of color feel inadequate to their white counterparts. And I don't think that I don't think the fans are doing it on purpose, or maybe some of them unintentionally do it, but it just happens to be that way, right? Like there's just a difference in how the reception to queens of color are to the queens that are not.
Yeah, and she was
And it's
definitely
so
one of those queens that when she won, instantly people were like, Gigi
Gigi.
was robbed. Gigi was robbed. I don't think she ever really
Yeah.
got her flowers like she
No,
deserved.
no. Well,
Yeah.
Jada, you getting your flowers now. Jada Essence Hole, you the shit. You heard it from No Ma'am. You the shit.
Look over
Okay?
there.
You better, bitch. Look over there. Jeff Goldblum. Over there. Over there. Look over there. It's the exit.
You
It's my
girl,
favorite part. It's my favorite part.
you need
Janessa,
to stop making me laugh.
look over there.
It's the
It's the
exit.
That's amazing. So that was good. Look at you, like iconic like tagline from Drag Race. Amazing. So now another iconic tagline, in my opinion. I know people go up for Flag Factory, but my favorite is your blood sugar low. That is my favorite thing ever that has come out of Simone's mouth. And so obviously the next queen up on the list is Simone, winner of Drag Race season 13. What are some of your favorite Simone moments? I have one that literally sticks out to me that, like, if it's not Is Your Blood Sugar Low, it's Deborah.
Mine is her snatch game. It's like her as Harriet Tab. Her as Harriet.
You better apologize to Harry.
One when she comes out from under the table and she's like, "Saw these white people at the duck." Hilarious. And then with the $20 bill, she's like, "You know what? What was it like? What these white people did? They said they're gonna put me on the $20 bill, and then they said, we're gonna scratch that." So I put myself on the $100 bill.
And she, like, stamped it. Yes.
I was gonna slam my hand down to imitate the stamp, but my phone probably would have toppled over, so I had to just. Uh, but her snatch game was hilarious. And if you want to talk about like black magic, Simone's runways, like that do rag, impeccable. That step down look, impeccable.
Her Say My Name look, the Say Their Names look was so good. And she put her hands up at the end of the runway.
Yeah.
Simone literally was like black girl magic. I remember
Oh
when
my
we
God.
first saw like the first episode of like a first lip sync between her and
I was
Olivia
about to
Lux.
say that. I was about to say that. Like the way her mannerisms during that lip sync, effortless, mesmerizing. Like Rue was hooked. We were all
Yes,
hooked. Everyone was hooked.
yes, yes. We like both screenshotted the screen and we was like the winner. We was like the winner. We like text each other at the same time was like the winner.
She
That's
just
how
won.
much.
She just won.
Yes,
She won
it's
that
like she
first
just
episode.
won.
Yeah.
Yes. I think between that lip sync, another lip sync of my favorites was between her and Utica for No More Tears Left to Cry.
Mm,
When she like, it was so captivating. I don't know what it was, but like she like grabbed like the camera from like the back of the runway, and I felt like she was like pulling the camera along with her. It was so good.
yeah, I mean, she just has this like stage presence that's like undeniable. And that's honestly like I don't think we've really seen that many times, at least at that level, where like you're just instantly gravitated towards her and like you can't look away. And it was like anytime she was on screen, she would just dominate.
This is true. Well, Simone, you did it. Simone is your shit.
Also,
Simone
like
is great.
Flag Factory. Come on.
And
Flag.
people go off of Flag Factory. Like, I mean, that was cute. That was good. It's a moment. But I don't know. Minus is your blood sugar low. Sweet Tooth, that's my shit. And
Oh
then,
yeah.
no, it's Deborah now. It's Deborah. That's also really good too. I think those are a little underrated. People need to like, get up on there. So between her and when she was like talking to Candy, she was like, it's Deborah. It's Deborah now. She was like, I didn't know, you could go to jail for fellatio. That was
I
so
forgot
good.
about that.
Like,
I forgot
it
about
was
that.
so good. So good. She was like, that was good. Okay, so now let's go talk about a queen that started off on RuPaul's Drag Race. Did okay. Didn't
Mhm.
win her original season. I mean, to me, I thought she did fine, but it was some questionable moments on her original season. And then did amazing, had a really great redemption story on All Stars, and then went international and won. And that is none other than Raja D. O'Hara, our Purple Queen, who is the winner of Canada versus the World season one. What's some moments about Raja?
Honestly, for me, it's just her entire run in what was that, All Stars
6.
was it six? Yeah, just her entire run in All Star 6. Um, not gonna lie, I was a Raja hater prior, like post All Stars. Fuck, not All Stars. Season 11 was it season 11?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just because there was moments she had some really questionable moments. Um, I think it was also a lot of it had to do with the editing, but I was not a big
Mm-hmm.
fan of Raja. Even when she was announced for All Stars, I was like, meh. Um, especially with some of the queens she was going up against, were some of my all-time favorites. But I think her entire run on All Star 6 was amazing. Like she changed everybody's mind. Like after that, everybody was standing for Raja. And then she went on Canada versus the World, and everyone was like, we need Raja to finally get her crown because she deserved that. I think she would have won. She really could have won All Star 6.
Yeah.
I think,
She was a
yeah,
contender.
like, yeah, she was definitely a contender because there's definitely seasons where like you know who's gonna win. All Star 6, I did not know who was gonna win.
No, it could have been any one of them actually.
Yeah, but she was so good. Yeah, I think just her whole, like literally all of All Star 6, like everything she did on All Star 6, the fact that she makes all her fucking outfits, insane.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just like Roger's commentary. Like, I thought she obviously in season 11 she had like the villain edit, and so there was some questionable moments between that season, right, when she had that plastic moment, and it was a lot, right. And then that's kind of what made turn people off of Raja from her original season. Then All Star 6, she had her redemption, like, and everyone was like, "Yes, Raja is amazing. Like, this is the Raja that we wanted to see
Mhm.
originally." And she had some wins. She did amazing on the runways. She did some really good design challenges. She had that. Some lip syncs was good. And then she came back from like and we were like, she has to win. Like, she's gonna win All Star 6, and then she didn't because it wasn't her time, and that's okay. Went to Canada versus the World, and I thought her and Silky did such an amazing job at like representing the USA. Obviously, like on the Canadian stage, I thought it was good. I thought she had an amazing run on Canada versus the World.
Hopefully. And I think it was such a full circle moment for her to be crowned by her season 11 sister,
Yes.
Brooklyn. Now that I'm thinking my favorite, it's kind of post drag. I mean, technically part of drag. It was her winning reaction because it felt so genuine. For those who don't know, the reaction you see on TV when they get crowned is not real. So every finale, they crown every single girl so that nobody leaks the winner because Perez Hilton leaked the winner of season 3, and they don't reveal the actual winner, so the winner does not know till the episode airs.
Right.
So usually, like those moments will be captured by either fans or by Wow or whoever. But like the moment she won and she just like literally fell to the ground, like I cried. I cried seeing that because
Yeah.
you could tell how much she wanted it and how much one she fully deserved it. But like you could tell she really, really worked for it, and like she did not believe she was gonna get it.
Nope. She didn't. But she did an amazing job on
Yeah,
Canada,
no, she
like,
fully,
versus the
yeah,
world.
no, she absolutely deserved that win. Um,
Yes. I think
the
my
Purple
favorite
Queen.
moment, and it's become a meme, is I'm not gagging.
I mean, I'm gagging because of the smell.
Yeah, but I'm not gagging. That is everything. That is, I swear, that's my mood for a lot of the times. I'm like, I'm not gagging. That's my mood on a few of these podcast episodes where I'm like, everybody else around me is gagging, and I'm like, I'm not gagging. I don't see it.
Sometimes we be at the bar and the girls be gagging, and we're just like, are we watching the same thing?
We're not watching the same thing apparently, because we'd be like, we're not gagging. It's like you was not gagging when I was like, oh my god, I was going up for Lexi with her bombing of her snatch game, and you
I'm
was
not
like,
gagging.
I don't know. It was so, he was like, I'm not gagging. That was a perfect I'm not gagging moment. That was great. But since we're keeping up, on this, versus the world train, we have to go to our, English
Across
counterpart.
the pond.
Well, maybe not so much anymore because they probably don't like Trump, and Trump is like crossing a lot of, like, making a lot of fucking enemies. So they may not be our English counterpart for too long. But
We're about
we
to be
have
all
to
by
talk.
ourselves.
We about to be all by ourselves, child. Our ally Canada gonna break off too. Shit,
Mexico
because
is already done with us.
he
Shea
done lost
Bomb is over
Mexico.
us.
I lost
China
Mexico.
over us too.
China over us.
The
China
only
didn't
ones
like
we're
us.
gonna have is fucking Putin.
Definitely like fucking Russia. But anyways, we have to talk about Tia Coffee, the winner of UK versus the World season 2. Now, my favorite Tia Coffee moment had to be her lip sync versus Astina to, what's that song by? It's a Dua Lipa song. Oh my god, what is the song's called? Oh my gosh, what's it called? Don't Stop Now.
Yes.
Don't
Don't
Stop
start.
Now.
Don't start. Don't stop. Don't start. Don't start now.
Don't Start Now.
Yeah.
Yes, when she did the back bend, like, fake out, that was cute. But it wasn't the fact that she did it. It was literally, I think it was Jenny Lemon, who every time she went down, she was like,
First of
and she
all,
kept doing that, and she kept going low with Tia. Every time Tia was doing it, everybody. And then when Tia eliminated Astina, all the queens in the back was like,
they were gagged, girl. They were
that was my
gagged.
favorite.
My favorite moment is that same season during the design challenge when she wore that horrible. I'm sorry, Tia, but that was and she knows it. She knows it. Horrific green dress, and
It's
she
the same
walks down
episode,
the runway.
actually. It's the same episode, actually.
Yeah, it was the same episode actually. And her commentary walking down the runway, being like, "I'm serving you an adequate dress made of material that is on my body," because she knew the dress was bad.
It was so
She
bad.
knew she was not. She knew it was horrible. But we love a self-aware queen, and the fact that
Yes.
she can make fun of herself while it was happening, I thought was hilarious.
Yes. Tia was good. And then she had an amazing run on UK versus the world, like, too.
Hmm.
And she was going up against some, like, heavy hitters, like the Marina Summers
Marina,
of the world, right? Like Hannah Conda, La Grande Dame. Like, she was going against some, like, heavy hitters.
not even just that, even the ones who went home early, like the Holland bitch, whose name I forget.
Jombers Blonde. Yeah, we had Jombers Blonde. We had Theresa May. We had Keta Minaj. Like, she had some really great contenders on that Scarlet
That
Envy,
was a
right? Like,
great cast.
it was a
That was
really
a
good cast.
really good. I think that probably the best versus the world cast we've had, honestly.
First of all, it was also the best versus the world season. No shade, but it was. They put money in that one. Like, they invested money in that
Hey,
season.
This
But
is
that I
what
can
this
tell you. I
this is
tell you,
this is what I hope happens to season 2 of Global All Stars. Like they learn
yeah,
from their mistake, they up the budget, and they make a better season.
yeah, they could totally could. But I thought Tia Coffee did amazing in that. And what I thought afterwards, my favorite runway from Versus the World 2 was when she did the tribute to Cherry Valentine in the red dress.
Another dearly
That
departed.
was good. Yes, that was good. And also recently, Tia Coffee has been talking about what it means to be obviously like a queen of color and winning. And some of like the microaggressions that she has faced being a winner and people trying to invalidate her win, right? And I think, again, this is why we're making this episode, to give the queens the flowers that they deserve, but also to bring awareness to the fact that we need to stop this. This is becoming a problem across the board. It's not an American issue. It's not like, it is just, we just need to stop. It is a cultural thing that some people have to realize that their biases against certain queens are very like racist. And I think after COVID, people have gotten more woke. But it's not that people have gotten woke, right? Because we were using woke in a negative connotation. People are just over like not saying something, right, when you are talking about them in a negative way because of something that they cannot change. Like, they can't change that. Like, she was born that way. Like, she can't change that. So she's always going to be a Black queen. Like, it is what it is. And so that is just something that you just need to realize, that the fans need to stop giving her hate for it. She's doing an amazing job as the winner. So we need to stop. And by we, I mean y'all, because I rep Tia. I love Tia Coffee. So, like,
Also, can we talk about that name? Iconic.
Coffee,
So
yes.
witty.
That's also
So witty.
funny.
You know what's funny? I actually didn't understand it at first until I forgot what it was. That rule was like, would it be like tea or coffee? And I was like,
Yeah.
tea
And
or
she never really
coffee?
answered the question. She never really answered the
Oh
question, though.
no. Yeah.
She
But
never
that's
tells
when I got
anybody
it. I
if
was,
it's tea
oh
or
my
coffee.
God. Tea
Yeah.
or coffee? Tea or coffee?
Yeah. I also want to know what's in her dossier. She didn't tell us that either. Tia, what's in that dossier? You didn't tell us what's in that dossier. You never told us what's in that dossier.
You can DM
What's
us,
in the
girl. I want
dossier?
to know. I want to know,
Right.
girl.
And then I guess, speaking of your European friends, right? I think we would be remiss if we do not talk about the winner of France 2. Right. Obviously, Keanu dominated France 2. But she was also a contestant on Legendary Season 2 with the House of Revlon. And they were a good team, but they were just dominated by some heavy hitter like houses
Heavy
on that
hitters.
season. There was some really heavy hitters on that season. But she redeemed herself and she dominated France 2, never dropping below high in every single episode that she was in.
Sorry.
I was
That
like, oh my
gagged
God,
me.
Jhoany
That gagged
almost
me.
died. Almost died. And then, and I think she won like 2 episodes, but she was never dropped below high in every single episode that she was at. She is the queen with the best track record on this list so far, but I forget where she ranks like in like the overall like track records of all time.
I think it's literally like second or third.
Because I know Drag Set List is number 1.
Yeah, but I mean,
and I think Kiona is maybe like 2 or 3.
yeah, and then I think it
Benzilla Creme.
isn't there some. Oh no, no, never mind. Yeah, I was confused. I don't know why I was confused with like at least the track record with like setlist track record, because I know
Yeah.
like they were crowned around the same time, so like there was a lot of
Yeah.
talk about like,
Yeah.
ooh, it happened again. But my favorite
Right.
Keona moment was the final lip sync. Like
Oh
that
my
was
God,
so
yes, it was
good.
so good.
Like she really I'm sorry, but she really destroyed Sour Flava. Sorry, I just had to say it like that. I just had to say it like that.
Why did you just do that?
I don't know, but just when I think of Sarah, I think Sour Flava. I don't know why. I think it's the way Nikki says it, but I can't do a French accent to save my life, obviously.
I wasn't ready. And this is the second time Jhoany has gagged me. The first time is when he talks about eating pussy and was not ready for when he talks about licorice. I don't know how he got from licorice to pussy. I don't know. And that gagged me. I was not ready. I was not ready. So make sure you watch that back when we talked about Drag Race Down Under season 4.
Oh, girl.
Was not ready. And then now with his like Sarah Forever accent, like I cannot. Sending me.
I'm sending
Like,
myself, girl. Did you see me over here dying?
like Sarah Forever. What was that? What was that? Oh my gosh, they should cancel you for that right there. That was not okay. But yes, that lip sync was so good. She absolutely dominated her forever. Dominated her in that lip sync. The crowd's energy went up for her. And the end where she started doing the voguing. Oh my God, Kiona owned that.
Yeah,
She owned that.
fully.
And so, just keeping on the international train, I think we need to talk about the winner of Brazil 1, Organza. And what I loved about Organza, and I think this is a really underrated season, is that Brazil, it's segregated. If anybody has ever been to Brazil, then you know you have the favelas, which is essentially the ghetto, but it's the ghetto of the ghetto. Right. And then obviously you have the city of like that a lot of the tourist areas go, right? The tourist areas are and whatnot. So Brazil is you can see the difference in status in Brazil. And it is also a very cultural thing where the dark skinned Brazilians don't get as many opportunities as the light skinned Brazilians. And so what I loved about Brazil 1 is that they brought that to life numerous times on that season. Between her and what was it, Scarlett, I think her name was, or Shannon Scarlett. Right between those two, I thought they was really great examples of like queens of color from Brazil, which I thought was really great. I thought Organza, she dominated that season. I knew she was gonna win because nobody else was good. Like they were like good, but they weren't like good. And if you watch the season, you know what I'm talking about. Like it's no shade to the queen, but it's because Organza like dominated that everybody else was kind of like playing catch up. But Miranda LeBron was on that season.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I did not watch Brazil. Don't kill me, guys.
Brazil 2 is coming out.
I know I saw I've been seeing what's the bitch's name? Drag Queen
Right?
post a lot of clips, which is the first time I've ever seen that happen. Like posting while you're filming. I've never seen
Yeah.
anyone do that. That's
Yes.
crazy. I'm living for
I
it.
think it's just to give buzz to that
Yeah.
season, right? Because Brazil didn't get that much. Obviously, I love that Miranda LeBron was on right global, so that brought some attention to Brazil. But when Brazil first came out, nobody was really talking about Brazil.
Yeah, no, I think it was really unfortunate because I think for a while everyone thought it was canceled. Same with Germany, because Mexico, Germany, Brazil were all produced by who was it? Paramount. Um, and they built them like a three-in-one studio. And then after Paramount picked them all up, dropped the first season, Paramount dropped all of them. Mexico got picked up right away by a different network, but it was a while before we found out anything about Brazil. So I'm glad it's getting a second season, even though I have not watched season 1. I will watch it before season 2 comes out.
You sure there was some really good queens on that season?
According not to you though.
I mean, no shade, true. Some of them were like questionable. Some of them was it was to me. You know what I don't like? I don't like a season where I know who the winner is going to be. Like that
Oh
bothers
yeah,
me. Like as a viewer, like as a podcaster, yes, right? I love that. If I know who the winner's going to be, like I think that's great. That's a podcaster, but that's me putting my producer hat on and like producing the show. But as a viewer, I don't like when I know who is going to win the season.
yeah, that's fair. It's very boring.
Yes, and that's kind of what Brazil 1 was giving me. It is no shade to the girls because I think each one of them is talented as fuck, right? But again, I just knew who was going to win because she was dominating the season, and everybody else felt like they were playing catch up. Right? It was like, okay, let's give this queen the win because we can't just keep giving Organza like the win, right? Like it's that piece. It's kind of like that. Let's give Organza like a little like BS critique because we need to show that we're not biased, right? Like
Shadow in
that piece,
season 2.
like that. Yeah, right. Like it's like let's throw her in the bottom for one, like to make it even for the other girls, like that piece. And I don't like when that happens. I like when like everyone is able to get like I like that. Whereas like I don't know who it could be. Season 11, season 17. I don't know who it could be.
Well, no.
Because every time I think who I think is going to be, another bitch pop up with another win. And I'm like, so now it's
I mean, right
three
now
queens
there's
with 2
2
wins each.
wins, yeah. And then there's
And it's still a half a season left.
there's Jules, who's never been entered below safe and just consistently high.
And Lexi,
And actually,
they both have one top two. And they both have either been high or
but
safe.
Lexi won one challenge.
She has one
Lexi
win.
has a
Oh, yeah.
win. Yeah, Lexi has a win.
Lexi has a win.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep. So that
And
season, I'm like, who could it be? Any one of them.
I think
I love that.
I think it's gonna be Corey
Save
King.
it for the not on this
Sorry,
Black History Month.
sorry.
Not on this Black History Month. We're not gonna do that. Did you see my face? We're not gonna do
I did it just to see how you
that.
would
Like,
react.
no. Anyway, because now I'm like devastated. Anyway, last but not least, we have to talk about the newest winner on this list because she just won Canada's Drag Race Season 5, and that is the Virgo Queen. So, what are some of your favorite moments of the Virgo Queen?
My favorite, like the favorite moment, is the first challenge, the verse she did. So good, it was so good. I think the best. I'm trying to remember. I think that was the best verse of that whole song. The way she performed it, so good, so flawless. I really loved her confidence and just her energy overall. Like you knew that she knew what she brought to the table, and she was not afraid to show it.
Yep, yep.
And like in the best way possible, because like I feel like you can very easily go into cocky. It never felt like that.
No, not at all. And obviously, like if you want to know more about how we felt about the Virgo Queen during her season, please make sure you reach out to and you watch the Canada Drag Race Season 5 episodes where we literally recap the whole entire season. My favorite moment, we did. We recapped the whole season. Oh, we didn't get to the finale, so we stopped. But and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's because season 17 took majority of our attention because they came out at the same time.
Our
But
girls,
my my favorite quote from the Virgo Queen
I I,
was,
I still need that on the
"I
shirt.
can't bottom. I can't bottom. I eat too much burritos."
Still need that on the shirt.
Which what? First of all, truer words have never been spoken, Virgo. Okay? Because I'm with you. I can't bottom because I eat too much burritos. First of all, I can't bottom because that's a totally different story. That's a lot of work. I don't got that kind of time. But
Metamucil
we
girl.
needed on it. We needed no. Ew, no. I'm not gonna make no accidents. Like no. Like come on. That's disrespectful. Ain't nobody got time for that. But ain't nobody got time for that. But I just think the Virgo Queen, between her lip syncing to Exes by Tate McRae versus my favorite, the gorgeous whore, that is Tiffany and Co.
What you hated at the start.
I hated Tiffany and Co. And well, first of all, hate is a strong word.
Well,
I just didn't like Tiffany's drag in the beginning episode.
y'all need to go rewatch our recap of Canada's season, whatever the season was, to know what we're talking about. Because we had some shady moments up in that bitch.
We had some shady moments of Canada, yes. But the Virgo Queen was such an amazing competitor on Canada's Drag Race season 5. Between her and Michaela Couture, like they both were deserving of the crown. And so I'm so excited that Michaela came in number 2 and then obviously Virgo Queen won. But like in terms of like someone who I'm excited to see what they do with their reign, like Virgo Queen is one of those people that I'm just like really excited to see what she does.
And I really hope she follows suit. She followed. Ooh, what's her name?
Who? Who? Isis Couture?
No, I really hope she follows Venus's footsteps and post her dick pic for her stepdad.
Oh my god. Oh my god. He's talking about dick. Venus, another one. I got a big old dick. I was not expecting that. But that's not Black History.
Let's make that tradition, girls.
That's not Black History. But Venus. It's a big ass dick. Where'd they come from? I was not expecting that. I had to send the picture to Jhoany.
I was at a bar too, girl. Like I was in public, and all of a sudden, I just get this big old dick in my messages. I'm like, oh my god, did I open Grindr by mistake?
I had to send it to Jhoany. I was dumbfounded. I didn't know what. I was beside myself. She said once her contract is over, she said she was going to post poll, and she did not disappoint. So
I hope the girls make it a tradition.
listen, once your contract is over, post a poll. Hashtag post a poll. Okay? All right. Well, friends, there you have it. That was our Black History Month episode and tribute, but we want to hear from you. We want to know who your favorite queen is on this list. So use the hashtag NoMaamQueen, tag us so that we can join in the conversation. And we're going to be sharing some of our favorite comments on our next episode. So again, we want to know who your favorite queen is on this list. Use the hashtag NoMaamQueen. Make sure you tag us as well so we can join in the conversation. And then you may see your comments on the next episode. So on our recap episode of the Rusical, you may see your comments on there. So make sure you do that. Also, if you enjoyed the shade, if you love the laughs, and if we had you say no ma'am, we probably had you say no ma'am. I guarantee you probably had you say no ma'am for one of the queens on the list because y'all just hate her regardless of if she do something good or not. But so that's just
Girl,
what
we
it
about to
is.
be canceled for this.
No, I think they're going to like it. But if you enjoy the laugh, if you enjoy the shade, and if we had you saying no ma'am, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell so you never miss a single episode of No Ma'am. And if you're following us, or if you're not following us, actually, follow us on Instagram at No Ma'am the Podcast.
Tell your
And
neighbors.
if you listen, please do. And if you're listening to us on Apple, Spotify, or iHeartRadio podcasts, make sure you like and comment and subscribe and rate us 5 stars. It means a lot. And as always, we'll have you say no ma'am in no time. Bye.